All right, you guys, I want you to really pay attention to the information that I'm going to give you next. And just as a kind of an explanation, we had to film it in a different format, but I am going to tell you all about your property tax notice. And we're going to do a really deep dive into it. And especially want you to pay attention to all of these items that you are getting taxed for if you are a property owner in Iron County. Let's dive in. Every year, Iron County property owners get this notice in the mail. It's easy to mistake it for a bill, but it's not. It tells you what your property is worth according to the county, what your taxes are proposed to be, and how you can weigh in before anything is final. Let's walk through it section by section. First, the most important line on the page, don't send a check for this. This notice comes from the Iron County Auditor's Office before the final tax bills go out. Actual tax bills are made by the Treasurer's Office in November, and all property taxes are due by November 30th. Here at the top, you'll find the basics that identify your property, the account number and parcel number. These uniquely identify your property in the county's records. Use these anytime you contact the assessor, auditor, or treasurer's office. The acreage obviously tells you the size of the parcel. The tax area is a code representing the specific mix of taxing entities that apply to your property. Two neighbors can be in different tax areas if one is inside the city limits and the other is not. This is your partial legal description, a short version of your property's legal description. This is for tax identification only. It's not a substitute for what is on your deed. And then of course is the property address and the owner. Self-explanatory, but we're double checking. If either is wrong, that's something to flag with the auditor's office. This is where most people's eyes go first, the value section. You'll see two numbers for last year and two for this year. Market value and taxable value. Market value is the county's estimate of what your property would sell for on the open market as of January 1st of the current year. Please don't mistake this for a market analysis from your favorite broker. Taxable value is the number your taxes are actually calculated from. For most residential property, it's lower than market value because of Utah's residential exemption, which reduces the taxable amount for primary residences. This also applies if your property has a full-time tenant in it. So please confirm whether the property type says primary improved property or non-primary improved property. If your market value jumps from one year to the next, that doesn't automatically mean that your tax bill jumps the same amount. That's going to depend on the tax rate, which we will get to next. So let's talk about the taxing entities table. This is really the heart of this property tax notice. This table lists every taxing entity that collects a piece of your property tax. Here's the thing to understand. Your property tax isn't just one payment to one government entity. It's several small levies stacked together, each set by a different local taxing entity. All of these are collected by the Iron County Treasurer and then distributed back out to those entities. Broadly speaking, there's four buckets: schools, county government, your city or town, and special districts. So let's review these. The county basic school levy and state basic school levy fund Utah's minimum school program. Every property owner contributes whether or not they have kids in school because that's treated as a shared community statewide responsibility. If your district has an outstanding bond, you'll also see a school district GO or general obligation bond line and a small statewide charter school basic school levy that funds charter schools. Next is county government. The county general fund pays for core operations like the sheriff's office and elections. The line labeled Iron County A&C, which is short for assessing and collecting, funds the offices directly responsible for valuing and collecting your property tax. The assessor, auditor, recorder, and treasurer. You'll also see county public health, county library, which fund exactly what they say. Next is your city or town. If your property sits inside Cedar City, Bryan Head, or another municipality, you'll see that city's own operating levy. This is why two notices for two different properties can show two completely different city lines. If the city has outstanding bonds, there's a separate interest and sinking bond just to repay that specific debt. Next is special districts. A water conservancy line funds the water district serving your area. And nearly every notice in Utah, no matter the county, includes a tiny multi-county assessing and collecting levy. It's mandated by state law and funds shared statewide valuation tools like aerial imagery and appraisal modeling that help keep property values consistent across county lines. So let's talk about how to read these columns. So right here we have 2025 taxes, the 2026 rate if no increase, and a 2026 proposed budget rate and taxes. and then the change in tax and change in percentage. For each entity, the table walks through the math. 2025 taxes show what you were charged last year for each taxing entity. The 2026 proposed budget is what the entity is actually proposing to collect this year. The change in tax and change in percentage is the difference between those two in dollars and percentages. First, you'll need to file with the Iron County Auditor's Office, and you must include documentation or evidence supporting your own estimated value. It could be a recent appraisal, comparable sales, photos of property damage, that kind of thing. Appeals must be received within 45 days of the mailing date or by September 15th, whichever is later. For 2026, that deadline is Tuesday, September 15th by 5 p.m. You can call the auditor's office at 435-477-8333 to request an application or visit the auditor's page on the Iron County website for details. To sum it all up, this notice is Iron County telling you what your property is worth, what each local government entity wants to collect from you this year, and giving you a chance to speak up before it's final. It's not a bill. That comes in November. If anything on your notice looks off or you want to understand your value better, reach out to the Iron County Auditor's Office. Thanks for watching, and thanks for taking time to understand where your property tax dollars are going. Let me know if you have questions. We'll talk soon.